Hey guys, it's Sammy, welcome back to my channel. And today, in an attempt to make the content on my channel slightly more interesting, we are going to be reading negative reviews for my favorite books. Before I even get into all that, I just want to say hi. I know my upload schedule has been horrid. I'm on Thanksgiving break now. I'm going to pre-film some videos, but as soon as I get back from Thanksgiving break, I am going to be basically going into finals, like the weeks leading up to finals. So it's going to be rough for this next couple weeks, but I'm trying to pre-film, and this is one of those videos that you will be seeing, and I'm super freaking excited to do it. I originally got this video idea from Casey Onzo. Don't know if she's like the original person who did this. I couldn't find like anything definitive because a lot of different people have titled this video lots of different things, so I'm just giving credit to her because that is who I first saw do this. I'm really excited to do this, so I'm going to be going onto Goodreads and looking up some of my favorite books and reading the bad reviews. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first book I'm going to look up is my favorite book of all time, Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han. It is the third book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before series. Okay, so you see like the little breakdown? I'm gonna include it over here now, sorry. It says 0% 1 star. So that's pretty funny. 1 star. Okay, so it's 458. So we're just gonna be looking for, okay, so, oh my god, Caleb. Yikes, okay. Okay, so Caleb is a booktuber. He said, when I read the first 2 books, everyone always says, wow, the main character is so mature and annoying to read about. And I never thought much of it. 2 years later, I am a completely different human than the one who had read the first 2, and wow. It was pretty hard to take the main character seriously. I found myself rolling my eyes and even laughing at some of the things she said and did not in a good way. This book wasn't my favorite, and I'll be real and say I skimmed the last half of it. It's weird how I just made a video about skim reading. Okay, so, I mean, like, he gave it 1 star, but he wasn't, like, bashing it. Like, I can completely see when people are like, Lara Jean is so immature, and, like, in the beginning, I definitely defended her because, like, I mean, she was young. I mean, she's still young in the 3rd book. Young, but she definitely reads a little younger sometimes, so I'm not mad at that, because it's definitely true, and it's not like this person was like shitting on anything. Sometimes you need sweet, funny contemporary to get your mind off, but sometimes too sweets can damage your teeth, or in the case of your brain cells. Okay, well, in order to avoid getting your brain cells damaged, I would highly recommend reading something where the main characters actually act their age and not 10-year-olds like Lara Jean and her friends. So it's the same complaint that these people act like they're too young. I don't know, like, I don't remember it reading that young. And I mean, like, maybe I always find it kind of frustrating when people who are not like these age group read things and they're like, oh my god, they're acting so immature and young. Like when they're 16 or 17 years old. Like, I know, like, at that point, like, you should be acting like you're 10 or whatever, but like, I feel like people kind of forget like how you acted, or you like to like shut it out how you acted when you were this age. And like, it's okay if she acts a little younger than she is. I don't think there should be any sort of thing that's like, you should act older, like you should act more like adults, like some of the people that are reading this. Okay, so this is an on fire garbage can. I love Jenny Han's books. I read this summer. I turned pretty in elementary school and loved it. See, but like, you can't say like you read it in elementary school. Have you read it since then? Because I've heard such bad things about that. I loved All the Boys I Loved Before, and I adore P.S. I Still Love You, so why do I hate this book so effing much? Plot, what plot? So what happened and yet so little happened? They were like in New York at one point in this book. Why? For what? It's shit like that that drove me crazy reading this. Lauren's insufferable. Peter is forgettable. Their friends, can't even name them. Her dad is a good dad. Deserves better. Kitty and Angel. Don't read this. It's not worth your money, your time, or your energy. Thinking about this book to this day makes me want to scream. Look, I mean, like, I understand where people are coming from. Like, I'm not gonna be like, okay, well, you have to love this book because I love this book. But yeah, I would say the plot was a little all over the place, but like if I documented my life right now, okay? And I know like a book shouldn't necessarily, like, it should have a plot. I realize this, but if you're kind of modeling your book after a real teenage life, it's all over the place. Like, we don't have, like, we go to school every day, we play sports maybe, but like at the end of the day, we just do whack shit all the time. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Whatever, you know, I'm not mad at any of these reviews. None of them are like really bad, I would say. And plus, I mean, this book has an overall Goodreads rating of a 4.18, which is astounding, super great. And, you know, I'm just not mad at it. So, moving on to my second favorite book of all time. It's A Court of Mist and Fury, guys. Okay, I know there's some bad reviews about this. Wow, a 4.69. That's honestly ridiculous. And once again, 0% 1 stars. Look, I love this book to death. I will always love this book. However, I recognize the problems, so I'm wondering the problems people point out are related to Sarah J. Maas and her writing or like the story in general. Why can I not find where I'm looking for? Okay. Oh, a half a star. Okay, so this has 416 likes. Very highly regarded. Okay. First of all, this is marked as high fantasy. You've got to be kidding me. Brandon Sanderson and J.K. Rowling are somewhere sipping tea and laughing at this bullshit. See, look, I thought just high fantasy means just like in a fantastical world. Isn't that all it means? High fantasy. Fantasy set in an alternative fictional secondary world. Rather the real or primary world, the secondary world is usually internally consistent, but they're different. Oh, so there's like low fantasy and high fantasy? Okay, but Harry Potter's literally low fantasy. It literally says it right here. Okay, we're not gonna... You know. So I skimmed through the entire book. I still have no clue why this is popular. A court of blah 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 is boring as hell. The characters are embarrassing, tiresome. Yes, I will agree. They are definitely embarrassing and tiresome, okay? No unique or remarkable qualities. On the contrary, exactly. Yeah, probably. I think we all agree. I think it's just plain wrong if a middle-aged man tries to get into a teenager's pants, but it's all hotness if you stretch the age gap from decades to centuries. You're not wrong at all. Yuck. I struggle with this when I'm reading all of these different books. I had the problem with Twilight, and I had the problem with this, and I'm sure there's a million other books that do this. It's weird. It's absolutely 100% weird. It's just so easy because it's like, oh, you see him as like a 19-year-old guy, and you just don't think about it. I personally can like shut it out, or like I really don't think about it often, but I definitely recognize that that is problems up in there. Like, no, for sure. It's just hard. Like, if the person looked like a 500-year-old person, like really old looking, like obviously it would be different, but I don't know, it's just how the brain works. It's the same thing with Twilight. Sex scenes were laughable and cringeworthy. I call this erotica for children. Don't look at me, I'm not the one who wrote it. Erotica for children? That's not a hot take. That's not... No, she didn't mean it like that, but like... Okay. The writing was monotonous. I don't even want to think about this. Yeah, I've heard really bad things about her writing. And when I was reading A Court of Frost and Starlight, I noticed it definitely, like, the fact she repeats some certain phrases. But, like, I don't know what it is. Like, this book, like, sucked me in, so... Surely I can't be the only one who finds the term mate utterly ridiculous. Yes, okay, 100,000% yes. Holy shit, like, especially, like, once again, when I was reading A Court of Frost and Starlight, I literally could not take it. How freaking annoying it was whenever they called each other mate. Oh my god. And it's I don't even remember it being that bad in this book. Like, if she read the next book, she would probably be so freaking done, and I was done. And of course in Frost, it was bad, okay? I called all those shocking twists before they were even out. Deep down, I was hoping they would prove me wrong, but sadly I remain right. Okay, like, yeah. Like, everyone knew they were mates. Like, it was pretty, like... But, like, I don't know, like, when they were coming up with how, like, all the books are interconnected and stuff, like, that didn't, like, shock you a little bit? I was a little shocked, whatever. Update, what's up with everyone snarling all the time? Who has an ebook? Someone, look how many times snarls, dude. Someone actually checked and it was 50 plus times. Okay, look, yeah, no, for sure. Okay, so this is the last part. Oh, give me a fucking break already. This main character be like, I live in a castle with my super hot fiance who loves the shit out of me. Ugh, and now I'm super beautiful and strong as shit. Could my life get any worse? Oh my god, she is so annoying. If I were Tamlin, I'd throw her ass back on the streets. See, you know, I was like kind of like on board with like this whole thing. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I can agree with a lot of this. I recognize that it's definitely not the best book, but like that doesn't mean that you feel good. Like, you can be really rich and be with someone who's super hot and like loves you a lot, and you could still feel like shit, and you can still feel like you're in an abusive relationship, or very well be in an abusive relationship. I don't like that part. I don't like that part at all. I feel like that's like really condescending. But everyone's allowed to feel whatever their way. Whatever way they feel is Gucci. Okay, so one of my other favorite books of all time is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. So this might not be a lot of tea up in here because it's an adult book, you know, like complaints are usually pretty tame. 3.83. Oh, so this is the lowest one yet. Oh, you know what? I feel like I might know what some of the complaints are going to be about. Oh, so 1% 1 star on this one. So we're a little higher than normal. Okay. First one, 288 likes. The first chapter was great. I was expecting a mystery thriller. I was anxious to find out how Lydia disappeared. Then the rest of the book happened. I hated all the characters. I hated the perfectly executed sentences. I hated the story. I hated the ending. Oh, and I really hated half the book was written in italics. So I listened to an audiobook, so I don't actually know that half the book was written in italics, which probably would have annoyed me too. Nothing really tea-worthy in there. Basically, apparently the half book was written in italics, which probably would have annoyed me as well, so, you know. So the opening sentence is, Lydia's dead, but they don't know this yet. And this leads readers to believe that this is a book about a dead girl and why she died, what effects her death had on her family, grief, etc., etc. That is complete bullshit. That's literally what the book's about. What the book is actually about is a family of mopey, whiny, sad sacks who enjoy wallowing in misery. This is before Lydia dies, I'm saying. They are like this before she even dies. This is the same thing. Like, are people not allowed, like, you're allowed to, like, not like a book because it's, like, depressing and, like, it's annoying. But, like, people are like that. People are allowed to be sad even when someone's not dead. What the fuck? Okay, This book teaches us that life sucks, people sucks, the world sucks, and that life is misery. What a horrible, hateful, damaging message. I can't believe this shit. So I can't really go farther on because it will literally tell you the whole book. I mean, yeah, like, all these people are pretty horrible. I think I even said it in my review how I hated half the people. So the next review is by Pamela. It says, if your parents were dicks, your life suck. If your characters aren't realistic, your books suck. Marilyn and James are the dickiest of parents since, okay, some other book. I started out listening to Mary and James, by a quarter of the way into the book, I found them too ridiculous to take serious anymore. I don't know. I can agree with that. They are definitely the fucking worst, but, like, it was a good book. I feel like it was still, like, I don't know what I was expecting to get out of this. I was expecting something, you know, a little more angry, but I guess people are just saying it's boring and or it's sad. Boring, fine. Sad, yeah, that's kind of the point. This video is already getting pretty long, so I will just go over one more book. So I need to decide what book, one of my favorite books, could I go over. Actually, I have a good one. Okay, so the last book I'm going to look up is a classic that I am ready to read all the bad reviews on because I know there's going to be hella. Okay, so this is the reviews for Breaking Dawn, which is Twilight number 4. Its average rating is a 3.7. Rating details, 9% 1 star with 104,000 1-star reviews. For you dumbasses, cross out. People that look up to Bella Swan and think she's an inspiration. If such people exist in the world, read this. 12 things that the Twilight series has taught me. 1. It's okay to abandon your parents after graduation. Literally. Okay. When a vampire wants to kill you, hide out on the mountain and run for your life while your boyfriend's family fight to protect you. True. You know what? I never really thought about it, but, like, literally they all fight for, like, Renesmee, even though, like, yeah, there's some... Okay. It is the most romantic and beautiful thing in the world when a guy you barely knows oils your bedroom window to watch you sleep when you don't even know it. Oh my god, did he oil her window so he didn't hear her? So she didn't hear him when he opened the window? I need to reread this book. I need to reread it. Beg your boyfriend to screw you over after he asks you to marry him. If your boyfriend leaves you forever, it's perfectly understandable to give you up on life and stop living. There is no hope for you moving on, so what's the point of existing in the world? When you have two guys fight over you, choose the more perfect, beautiful, flawless one. For me, he's possessive, controlling asshole. Do not, under any cost, choose the beautiful... less beautiful, flawed guy. I feel like, is Edward the more beautiful one? I guess. Can't relate. Also, Edward has a lot of flaws. Do they pretend like he's flawless? I need to reread this book. Make friends at school and then literally ignore them and pretend they don't exist. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Mary Nez. Okay, so let's read hers. First of all, it's problematic. which is consistent from the previous centuries. Bella and Edward can't have sex while she's a human because if they have sex, Bella will probably actually die. Yeah. For the entire series, Bella's sexuality is held hostage to Edward's rules and whims. Then they finally get married, and instead of backing up her, if you have sex before marriage, you will die, but sex after marriage is cool message, Stephanie Meyer just makes sex horrible, period. Bella isn't allowed to enjoy sex. She can't bring herself to talk about sex with her partner in a mature or adult way. Edward lures sex over her as a means of control. When she finally gets to have sex, it's physically dangerous for her. After she has sex, she has to repeatedly apologize for it. Wait, she apologized? Bella enjoys sex, but she's too fragile to have it. Bella has to beg, plead, and scheme her way into more sex. Bella gets instant pregnant, and it kills her. What is this? What is this messaging? You know what? You're right. I didn't remember this now, but I literally remember how, like... Oh my god. So, they have sex the first night, right? And then, after that, they, like... Edward always makes them do all this crazy stuff during the day, so she's so tired she doesn't want to have sex at night. And so, like, he makes her feel bad for it, and she literally is, like, begging for it. And then she gets insta-pregnant and it kills her. Yeah, you know what? That's a really good point. That is a really good point. And then in the worst turns of events ever, Jacob imprints on a baby. And anyone tells you it isn't like this, question their reading comprehension, because it's like that as hell. At best, it is child grooming. At worst, we have a pedophile we have to read about a pedophile over and over again. But there are supernatural beings who don't follow our rules. Like, okay, if that's what you want to tell yourself to feel good about reading a man fall in love with a baby, I for one hated it. It's gross, especially because it meant to be an epic love. Was it meant to be epic? I thought it was always kind of weird. Maybe it was. I don't know, I definitely see people still talk about how it was epic love. Maybe, I don't know. Imprinting as a concept is messed up because it robs agency from especially the women in the equation. No, for sure. I think imprinting is kind of fucking weird, and I found it weird always. It was actually a baby. It's implied that her entire reason Jacob even liked Bella was because of her pull towards her unfertilized egg. Like, what the hell? Is that what it means? Okay, but let's say you don't care about all the awful messaging in here, from misogyny to pedophiles and racism in between. This is not a good story. It's nearly 800 pages of next to nothing happens. Yeah, I skip it. Is Breaking Dawn the one that has Jacob's perspective? I skip over it every single fucking time I read it. 800 pages and we rush past the wedding. The ceremony is literally skipped over. It is. Get a chapter of honeymoon, then she's pregnant, and we get this pregnancy and delivery from two different perspectives. Why? And then the Voltaria takes months to get to Forks. I swear to God, at one point the vampires spend an entire night staring at each other. I'm not joking. No, I definitely think that's true. Because if I remember correctly, like, there's all this time between, like, when they're waiting for the Volturi to show up, or they're, like, running around, like, into town and, like, getting fake IDs and all this shit that I just did not care about. In the last 30th page, we get a big showdown. But after gathering all these incredibly powerful vampires, the big showdown is a bunch of people talking in a field for 4 chapters, and then that's it, and then it's over. After 800 pages. Nothing makes sense. Everything is the worst. Why do people like this? Please send help. You know, I think that's a good place to end. Because, you know, I need to reread it, so... Yeah, you might not be wrong. I might hate that shit after I reread it again. So... Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was definitely messy, and I tried to make it as interesting as possible, but overall, like, oh wow. Some people don't like the books I personally love, or at least I used to love at some point, but I really enjoyed reading this. I feel like it gives me a good perspective, especially about some of the Twilight stuff, because I need to reread that. It's one of my goals for 2019. Oh my god, 2019. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, all of my social media links will be linked down below. They are all at bookishsami. Be sure to check me out on Twitter, especially. I've been, you know, trying to interact with you guys more on there, and I would love to talk to you guys about anything. A little update into my life. Looking into going to maybe BookCon. I know, who am I? Probably not. We'll see. And I'm just trying to improve my content on here, making it more interesting for you guys to watch. So, yeah. I will see you guys all very soon. Bye!